So if you are ready to increase your manifestation abilities and the speed at which you actually manifest whatever it is you want to manifest into your timeline, into your reality, then this video will help dramatically. And if you have been seeing the channel for some time, you'll know that I've been doing, over the last 5 years, I've done a heck of a lot of events, worked with tens of thousands of people. What this has allowed me to do is not only meet a heck of a lot of people, but also meet a heck of a lot of quote unquote successful people. Quote unquote, people who have achieved miraculous things in their particular field. And what this allowed me to do was spot a pattern between those who actually achieve and manifest what they want and those who don't. Now, this pattern doesn't even depend on how deeply somebody knows about deeper spiritual topics, about different reality shifting techniques. Don't get me wrong, those who know about the techniques and know what I'm going to share with you in this video can make a huge difference in their lives. But what I was seeing was that even the people who didn't know, who weren't too deep into spirituality, what did they have in common that was allowing them to achieve that thing that they wanted to in this life, that particular goal? And what it came down to was their default frequency. This energy that they were exuding pretty much in every moment, in everything that they were doing. It was this energy where it was like, they didn't fall at failure. Something, they could get a rejection, they could get some sort of failure, something could happen that wasn't expected in their life, in their timeline, in their day, but they wouldn't falter to it. But the reality is, and this is the truth that I don't think a lot of people will admit, there's a lot of people who are into spirituality, these deeper concepts, but this energy is lacking. This energy is a heck of a lot weaker. It's like they could be meditating, and in those 10 minutes, in those 20 minutes, in those 30 minutes that they're meditating, they feel beautiful, they feel high vibe. But then they come out of the meditation, and then in the day, that something triggers them. A family member says something that pisses them off. Somebody cuts them up in the road. Road rage happens. Or maybe they're manifesting and they're saying, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. But then they go to the shop, they go to buy something, but they're like, no, that's too expensive for me. It's two different vibrations. It's a double life. And let's just take a moment to think of this logically. Think about it. If you're meditating or doing some technique for 20 minutes in the day, even if you're doing more than the majority of people and meditating or scripting or visualizing or journaling for an hour a day, what about the other 23 hours? What about the rest of your day? What energy are you in? Not just in that meditation or in that technique, but what energy are you in the rest of the day that's impacting your vibration, impacting your energy, and impacting the results that you get? That's why the main thing that I want to share with you in this video is how you can upgrade your default frequency, not just in the meditation or in the deeper bits where you're doing the techniques, but how can you upgrade your default frequency for the other 23 hours in the day plus? And when you do this, it's not just an energetic thing that it affects. Of course, they say you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you are not in resonance with the reality that you want to attract, you're not going to be living it. It's just not compatible. It's like trying to put a HDMI in a USB port. It's not going to fit. But when you maintain and upgrade your default frequency, this is when you can find harmony with the particular reality that you want to manifest, that you want to live in. But not only that, even if we don't go too deep in terms of energetics and we just speak about the physical side of the reality, I remember some years back, before I had a speaker mentor and learned how to speak on stages, learned how to speak on camera, learned how to speak in public, I remember I was super shy, super introverted. Well, I'm still introverted, but super shy, super socially kind of like social anxiety. And it would affect, like, even the case where when I would walk into a room, if somebody just glanced at me, let's say they just glanced at me randomly and then glanced back and carried on doing what they're doing, I would be thinking, what's wrong with me? Do I look weird? Like, what are they thinking about me? Am I okay? Am I doing something wrong? Like, all these different thoughts. Meanwhile, that person just looked at me randomly, subconsciously, and then looked back and doing their thing. But when I suddenly changed what was going on the inside, my default frequency, if I walked into a room, someone glanced at me, glanced back, I'll be like, oh, they want to speak? Let's speak. Oh, this person's looking at me, maybe I look good. Oh, this person, maybe it's just something to do with them, why they're looking at me. And notice, all that happened was what was going on inside. It was the same thing that was happening on the outside, but what was happening on the inside was dramatically different. That was impacting my thoughts, my feelings, and then the actions that I was taking. So when you upgrade your default frequency, now it's not just the case of on an energetic side things are upgraded, but also on a physical side. How you're feeling, how you're thinking, the actions that you take and the opportunities that are presented to you and the way that you go about making the most from those opportunities, those manifestations, that can link you to the next manifestation. And like, even think about it now, like you're watching this video on your phone or on your laptop or whatever you're watching it on. I want you to analyze right now, the way that you're sitting, the way that you're breathing, your posture. Is this the posture? Is this the way that you'd be sitting? Is this the way that you'd be breathing if you had already received the manifestation that you want? Like really take a moment to think about it. Whether it's money, whether it's freedom, whether it's traveling, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, whether it's a deeper spiritual connection. Imagine you already achieved whatever that big good next goal is for you. Imagine you've already shifted to that reality. How would you be watching this video? How would you be breathing differently? How would you be sitting differently? How would your posture be differently? What would you be feel like? Like imagine this, imagine your goal, let's say your goal is money. Imagine you want $10 million in your bank account for whatever reason. Imagine right now as you're watching this video, you actually have $10 million in your bank account. Like how does that feel? Notice the difference in the way that you feel. If your goal is a soulmate or twin flame, imagine this. Imagine that you've already got them. They may not be in the same room as you right now because they've gone out shopping or they're somewhere else, but you're with them. How does it feel knowing that? Do you feel more happy? Do you feel more at peace? Do you feel more fulfilled? Do you feel more whole? What do you feel differently? What is the difference? And as you're watching this video, actually start to embody that. Like start to literally feel like you've got the millions in your bank account. You're traveling to your favorite country tomorrow. You've got your dream partner. Like notice the difference in this default frequency. Because before I said all this, your frequency was at one level. After I said this, now your frequency can be at a different level. And even if it drops a bit, it's still much higher than it was before. But something like this is just the beginning. Like this is the baseline that you should be doing. Because the reality is, in order to upgrade your default frequency, you need to have a clear feeling of what that frequency feels like. But most people have no freaking idea what that frequency feels like. Like think about it. A lot of people, they know exactly what they don't want, but only have like a vague feeling, a vague idea of what they do want in life. They may feel like, yeah, I want to be richer, I want to have more freedom, I want to have this, but the depth, the clarity isn't there. So that's where the second part that I'm going to speak about comes in. The second part is all to do with installing your higher frequency. Because if right now in your mind, in your energy, you have a frequency that you think is a high frequency, is the frequency you need to be at, but you could actually go here. This difference determines the rate at which you're able to collapse time and space and manifest what you want and receive that manifestation into your physical reality here and now. So the way that we do this is very simple. You know how I mentioned earlier that for most people, they're spending 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day on some techniques. Those techniques do come in handy. These techniques are where you're installing your higher frequency. Because the more that you upgrade and install your higher frequency here, the more that you're able to take that higher frequency into your daily life. So the way that you can do this is simple. This could be through meditation and visualizing what you want happening already, but not just seeing it, but actually feeling it, actually noticing the difference, actually absorbing all the juice from that meditation, that manifestation one. It could be that you're journaling and scripting what your life is like now that you have your dream reality, now that you're living it, all the different nuances and feeling it. But it doesn't have to just be, you see, this is the thing that I always stress. Everybody is unique. What works for you might not work for somebody else, and what works for somebody else might not be the best thing for you right now. So I always stress finding your unique, specific things that are working for you right now. Because for some type of people, actually doing a manifestation thing or visualizing isn't the most optimal thing. It might be just sitting in meditation, not thinking about anything, but simply receiving your higher energies, connecting to your higher self, and just being in that energy. Because the language of this reality is energy. It's not words. The real language that gets things moving, that gets things manifesting is your energy. That's why they say feeling is the secret. And if you are feeling your true higher self, this can be where, this is the deeper stuff where, this is where we're going from the line of mind manifesting what it thinks that it wants. Because you must appreciate that sometimes what we think we want isn't always what we need. Like, you know that time where you saw that guy or that girl and you really wanted them, you were manifesting them. Then you got them, and then after some weeks or some months, maybe even shorter, you're a bit like, why did I manifest this person? Like, was this actually the person that I wanted? Like, what happened here? Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually what we need. But when you tap into your higher energy, your higher frequency, the part of you that is outside of time and space, that knows exactly what you need, that's where these things can happen a lot more quicker. So when I say install your higher frequency, it's not just scripting, visualizing. That is a factor for sure and will play a big part. But it can all equally be just sitting in your energy, transmuting non-serving energy and tapping into your higher self. And what I invite you to do is just experiment, test different things. Because the more that you test, the more that you'll know what is for you, what helps you, what cultivates that higher energy. It might be on some weeks that you're literally focusing on the visualization. Feeling is the secret. Other weeks you're focusing on journaling. Other weeks you're focusing on just being, tapping into your higher self. And by the way, if you want any personal insights from myself, specifically for you and what you're going through right now, what is the best, most optimal practice to be doing for you to tap into your higher frequency, whether it's how to tap into your higher self, whether it's transmuting non-serving energy, past trauma, or even just a reality shifting practice that is optimal for you specifically, depending on what you're going through right now, you can click the link in my description. So if you're feeling that call, you know who you are, click the link in the description and we can definitely at least have some sort of conversation. But in the meantime, commit to installing this higher frequency. The higher you raise your frequency in these 20, 40, 50 minutes here, the more you install this, the more you ground this, the more you can take this as your daily default frequency throughout the whole day. But now once we've done this, there is another problem that I see oftentimes. People can do the first step, install the higher frequency. Do the second step, use that higher frequency to upgrade their daily default frequency. But oftentimes, even if their frequency is high, even if they're tuning into the reality that where they have manifested what they want and they're living it and they're feeling it, they're breathing it, all it takes is for one thing in the day to trigger this and break the cycle. I'm sure you've been there, where you've had one thing where somebody said something to you, maybe you got into an argument, maybe you got into a disagreement, maybe somebody stepped on your toes in the wrong way, and it took you some time to get over that. Now here's the problem. Most people see triggers or events like this or people in their life that know how to push their buttons as problems. But what if we flip the switch and we treat these triggers as opportunities, as gateways to pull us back into our higher frequency? Think about this. Before it was trigger would happen, now it would take you off your frequency, and now you're manifesting things that probably is not most optimal for you. Yes, maybe after some minutes, hours, days, or even decades, you get back onto the right path. But that time that you're spending in that other frequency isn't benefiting you. But what if when that trigger happens, we see it as a, hey, this is a reminder, this is my reminder from the universe to get back into my higher frequency. This person who's pushing my buttons, thank you. Like, you don't have to thank them literally, but inside you can thank them for reminding me. And what this does is when you feel triggered, remind yourself your default frequency that you've installed earlier. What would the version of me who has already manifested and achieved that which that I wanted to achieve or wanted to receive, what would they do in this situation? How would they be feeling? When that parent or that friend or that family member is saying, you're doing your own business, is that even going to do anything for you? You already feel in your heart, you already know that this business is making you millions. This business is making you a tremendous amount of impact in this world. This business is allowing you to contribute and create your own charity. Like, imagine how you feel like knowing that, not letting their triggers create more doubt, more fear, more uncertainty, more worry, but create more certainty, more fulfillment, more deeper sense of knowing. Just like that successful person that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, who didn't fall at any failure, didn't fall at any rejection, didn't fall at any questioning of what they're doing. They're not living the double life, where in the 20 minutes of their day, they're feeling good, but then the rest of the day, they're letting other things affect their energy. And literally think about it. It's not just affecting your energy. If you let other people affect your energy, you're letting other people manifest for you. What we're doing here is flipping the switch, where we're letting other people remind us of the higher frequency, the higher energy, the higher timeline, and remind us how we would act in that situation to manifest the better situation energetically and physically. And by the way, if you're enjoying videos like this and you want more videos like this popping up on your feed, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so that you don't miss any of these videos that I've posted or that I'm going to keep posting in the future. So take care of your default frequency. Install a higher frequency in your practices, in your sessions, in what you're doing, even if you're doing any trauma releasing things. That is you calibrating your vessel, calibrating your body in a whole different way so it can handle this higher frequency. So it's not just in the mind feeling and thinking, yes, I'm tapped into my crown chakra, my third eye, but actually you can ground that energy all the way down into your roots, into this reality. But then equally, once you've grounded these higher energies, now it's what you do in the day and not letting these triggers or these potential things that may usually shift your frequency and shift your reality and shift what you're manifesting from what you desire, using them as gateways, as portals to get to your desired reality even quicker than possible. Why? Because you never left your desired reality. You never left your desired frequency. You never left this in your default frequency. And if you enjoy concepts like this and you want to shift your reality even faster, even quicker, even more optimally, then make sure to check out this video here so you can know if you're actually manifesting the thing that is meant for you in this lifetime. Other than that, much love, and I'll see you in the next video.